I welcome all of you to this particular session on operations management, which has been coded as MMPO003. We are discussing already about some of the introductory ideas in block 1. In block 2, already we have seen in unit 4 the various ways in which we can produce or generate products and services respectively. This block 2 is particularly focusing on designing operations. So today in our session we will be looking at unit 5, that is designing and manufacturing goods and services. Before any kind of introductory things regarding designing and manufacturing of goods and services, let us have a informal discussion. Think about the invention which changed the way human beings went for development, and almost all they are of the view that it was the invention of wheels which made the development of human beings at a very fast pace to the age that we have reached today, that is the modern days. Now, all of us, when wheels we talk about, we see the picture of a circular item which are used in many forms, vehicles, the carriages, which help in order to move heavier loads from one place to another at a very fast pace. Now these wheels were circular. Think if the wheels would have been of square types or of rectangular types, what would have been the pace of development? Now that could have been the wheels. But it was not easy for the users to use in their items, the products, or for their necessity. As well as the manufacturing was also, or would have been, very clumsy, we can say. But when the wheels were circular in shape or design, the manufacturing became easier, the usage became easier, and it was adopted by each and all to have transportation, movement of mechanical parts, etc., etc. So our focus today would be how we can design and manufacture goods and services. Now, let us discuss about manufacturing, product design and process basics. When we are manufacturing products, the first thing that comes to our mind is quality of products. So products, or the quality of products, when we say in that it is conformance to specifications. whatever are the products that we produced should be produced according to the various specifications, and the product should meet the specifications. What we can say here is, uh, in general, we say uh, we view as customers uh, as value for money. That means whatever money we spend for either a product or a service that we are consuming or using, the product that we are using, how much value we are getting out of it. That means how much benefits we are getting for the amount we have spent for that particular product or service. Similarly, quality of products are also said as fitness for use. That means how fit the products are in order to use it. For example, all of us have seen tires in the vehicles. In Indian conditions, the tires are naturally, the grips are designed on the tire surface, and we use it in the roads that are usually not so well maintained, roads which maximum run into village areas or the we can say rural areas, and this uh, tires which has been designed for vehicles, they usually grip the surface of the roads. Now these tires we cannot use easily in places where it is of icy condition. So what we mean by that? That means where the temperature is very low and the roads are covered with ice, this type of tires will slip. They will not grip the road. We cannot use it in the best possible way. For that, tire in those conditions are specifically designed which will adapt to the slippery icy conditions, but they cannot be used in roads that are usually found in the hot or the tropical climate countries. Similarly, many of us might had a glance at the aeroplane tires. They are designed and manufactured in such a way that they grip the runways while landing at a very high speed and also have a great braking capacity with huge loads. Because you know the design and the manufacturing has to be according to the specification. Any deviation will create hazard to the human lives who are traveling by aeroplanes. Now the quality of product also depends upon after sales service. Yes, one may say that the product has been produced according to specification and it is ready or fit to use. But there can always be snags or technical difficulties after the product gets to be used by the customers. When a customer purchases it, It purchases that it should perform certain functions. But at some instances, it has been seen that the products fail in performing those things. So, there, the companies which are producing the products, or the companies or organization which are performing the services, they provide after sales service. That means any defect found in the products or services, they are made good either by rework, or the products are completely changed and a new product is handed over to the customer. Now, the last thing about quality of products when we say while designing the products is the psychological impression. Now, any organization which has uh, a reputation of producing according to the specification, items shows very less amount of defects, and this trend is carried out over years and years on ending. It creates an image in the mind of the customers at the marketplace that yes, those organizations, product or services are of qualitative nature. It gives a psychological impression. Now we see the production design. Now, when we are talking of production design, the production means the conversion setup. That means the machinery that we are using, the process we are using, or the operational uh, way out that we perform to generate the services. So, what kind of design we shall be using so that the quality of products are better? Because in order to produce any product, there may be various different type of production or conversion systems. So, according to the product that will be designed, the production should also be designed so that it will produce according to the specification or maintain quality. While designing the product or services, what are the phases we go through? The first one is when we are talking of designing a product, we are talking of a new product or developing a product out of an existing product having various other features as compared to the older version. That means we are talking of something new. Now, whatever new we try to design and produce and sell it, it is not always that it will click in the market. In order to have influence on the market, it has to be adopted by the customers or required by the customer, or will be able to satisfy the need of the customers. So the first phase of product design is recognition of need. Is there any kind of product that we can innovate so that we can satisfy the unfulfilled need of the customers? Uh, in electronic items, gadgets, all of you or all of us might be finding in the marketplace, customers are requiring more and more advanced features, advanced technology, etc. So these needs of the customer are changing at a very rapid pace. So thinking of the changing needs that will occur in customers' mind in the future, we try to have what kind of need may occur in the future. If we can accurately or predict more accurately that need, then it will be helpful for us to design the new product. Another example all of us can think of is a product which is called as safety pins. All of us will be astonished to know that safety pins have been in the market since its inception centuries ago, and still it is needed by the customer. So products, the needs are differing from item to item. So you have to recognize what kind of need is arising in the customer mind. Once we recognize the need, we try to define the problem. Why the need is there for the customers? What kind of challenges the customer is facing? So thereby we will define what is the problem there. Why customer is requiring something. Then from the need and problem definition, we synthesize and think of the designing of the product. Once we design the product, we analyze and optimize it. That means we try to see how the product is going to be developed, what are the best features we can adapt to the product, and while doing this, we try to undertake many kind of tests also, maybe directly with the customers or indirectly in the labs also. Then we evaluate what is the new product we are trying to develop, whether it is going to be successful to satisfy in the needs of the customer. Now, if the evaluation, the results are good, then we prepare a report, because whatever is the new idea we have formed as a startup, many things are coming up. We need to present it before various organizations so that they can fund the idea and we can set up the facilities. Now, the product development process consists of these steps in a orderly manner. First is the need identification. That means we try to see what the customers are wanting now or they will be wanting in the future. Then looking at their wants or the needs, we try to think of any kind of product. That means before producing it, we try to plan how the product will be. Then what should be the design for it? Once these things are formed, we go into the drawing boards. Drawing boards means by using of either computer-aided design or CAM, computer-aided manufacturing, for detailed engineering design. Now, after the product, the engineering design is ready, we go to design the process which will be manufacturing the products. Now, once the product design is ready, the process design is ready, we try to produce the items. Now, the items that are produced are evaluated. We don't go for large scale production. We go for some pilot production. That means a small batch we go on producing and we try to test it. That means evaluate it and see whether it is matching to the needs of the customers or not, and bring improvement on that. Then we think of, if we send the product we have designed, evaluated till the last details, and we are now sending it to the market, we try to uh, give ideas to the customer regarding the product use and what kind of support we can provide. Because new items or the new products, nobody has an idea how it runs, etc. So there has to be knowledge about the use, and it should be supported by the organization developing the new product. Now the process flow design or the process selection can be of three types. One is the process focus, another one is the product focus, and another one is repetitive focus. Now, when we design the product and go for producing it, we try to think whether the product should be according to the processing part, or should the processing be based on the products, that is product focus. In many electronic items, gadgets, car manufacturing, vehicle manufacturing, etc., they are mainly the assembly lines, where at each step or each subsequent workstation, we call it as, or workplace, a particular item is brought and assembled. That means repetition of work goes on. So you have to select the process according to whether the product is according to the processing, or the process is according to the product, or it continuously get assembled or repetitive. Now all these things, all the product design, etc., we think because of certain life cycle of the product, that is product life cycle, that we can think of, just like human beings. So product life cycle stages are classified or divided or segregated into four different stages: introduction, growth, maturity, decline. These are same just like our the human beings. Now let us think about characteristics like the sales volume, the on one side, and on the other side the number of units produced and sold. When a product gets introduced into the market, or a new product is sent to the market, most of the customers, almost all of the customers, do not have an idea what the product is for, what purpose it is going to serve, how to use it, or the producing cost will be higher as the volume of production is very, very low. So, this is the first stage, that is the introduction or introductory stage of any product, where the volume of production is very, very low, cost is very, very high, and the growth potential of sales is also very less. Then comes the second phase. Once the customer go on knowing about the product, its usage, what benefits it is going to give as compared to the earlier kind of setup that they had, they will start adopting the new product. This will lead or drag the volume of production to higher levels. Thereby, the cost of producing becomes low, volume of production becomes higher, and the growth rate in the market is very, very high. And here also you will be finding stiff competition, as new companies also will be coming into the marketplace, since they found that the product which has been introduced to the marketplace is having a growth potential. After a certain time period, the volume of sales becomes stagnant. It reaches a plateau. So thereby what happens? Volume of production is at the maximum, but the growth of the sales is stagnant also. There is no growth. It remains at a plateau. Big players only exist in the market because many competitors die out in the growth stage, or competitors cannot enter into the marketplace easily during a product's maturity stage, as they cannot compete in front of the cost. Then finally, when more advanced new products will enter into the market, the older versions, older products, adaptability or sales in the marketplace will start declining. That is the last stage of product life cycle. How can we get competitive advantage through new products? Now, by increasing market share, higher profitability, by enhancing the image and brand name, faster competitive response, and operating cost and capacity utilization. Now, looking at DFM, design for manufacturing and assembly, it is a centuries old technique. We can think about 1788 when Leblanc devised interchangeable parts to be used in different type of product. Nowadays you see certain standard items like nuts and bolts, the wheel, uh, we can say the wheels of the vehicles, the tires, they can be used in multiple products, in products of various companies. When this happens, it becomes easier to manufacture in large volumes and reduce the cost of production. So design for assembly is designing product for use of assembly like in electronic goods. Now this design for manufacturing and assembly is used for three main activities. One is it reduces the manufacturing cost or the assembly cost and Also, it can bring improvements because few vendors will be doing the same thing and they can think in a clear mind what kind of improvements can be brought into the product. It is a benchmarking tool to study competitors, and it also helps in negotiating suppliers' contracts. Now, the more and more standardized components we are using in the final product, then the cost of producing it also becomes lower as we get supply from selected vendors at a very lower price. So designing for manufacturing DFM guidelines reduce total number of parts by using standard components. The parts can be multifunctional. That means a screw, nut and screw which has been developed will not only be used for a single purpose, it can be used for many different segments of any product. The parts can be used for multiple times and they should be easy for fabrication. That means designing it and putting it in the molds. When you have standardized parts, the assembly directions or the assembly instructions also gets reduced and compliance and handling also becomes easier. So while going for DFMA, we think about design, then we think about the best design concept, then we go for DFM. Nowadays it is particularly by use of computers and AI, and we develop the prototype which is used in labs or in fields. Once it is accepted by lab testing and fields, we go for actual production. So with this, we'll be ending our session today. Thank you for the discussion.